Hello everyone, welcome to Officer Sada 24/7. My name is Soumya Prakash. I hope you all are doing well and you have started your preparation for your JIB exams. Before I start, please share the link of this video with all your friends and colleagues who are targeting their JIB in May 2025. We are coming up with this series called Champions, where we are discussing different units of the subjects which you have to study for your JIB exams. We'll be discussing some of the questions also in this session. And today's topic is, as I'm doing principles and practices of banking, today's topic is Unit 13, and it is responsibility of paying bank. So first of all, understand what a paying bank is. So if suppose there is a customer and we can call him, just a minute. So if we call him Mr. A, this is PNB, and Mr. A has his account in PNB Bank. He's customer of PNB Bank. Then, and he has received a check from one of his friends, and the check is of Canara Bank. As you can see, that check is of Canara Bank. So what will he do? Mr. A will come to his bank. He will deposit this check with a deposit slip in bank PNB because he's customer of PNB. Mr. A is customer of PNB and he might be having some account, maybe say saving account. He is having saving account in PNB. So in this case, what will happen? Bank will take the check plus deposit slip plus it will take the deposit slip. This will go to clearing house. In one of the previous unit, we have seen that this will go to clearing house through CTS after scanning the check as well as the deposit slip. It will be sent to clearing house. Clearing house will send this to Canara Bank. What will be called PNB here? PNB will be called the collecting bank. PNB will be called the collecting bank. So collecting bank, after scanning the check as well as deposit slip, it will send to the clearing house. Clearing house will then send it to Canara Bank, and this will be known as paying bank. So in this particular unit, we are going to study what is the responsibility of the paying bank. After checking everything, whether everything is okay as per the check, whether everything is all right, the pay's name, amount, date, signature, the paying bank will make the payment to the clearing house and this will be again given to the collecting bank. Collecting bank will then credit the account of the account holder, that is Mr. A. So here we are going to study about what are the responsibilities of the paying bank, because paying bank will receive the check and based on that check it will make the payment to the clearing house and clearing house will then make the payment to the collecting bank and collecting bank will then make the payment to the customer Mr. A. So this is going to be the path. Now there are some important points related to it. First of all, the duty of banker to honor his customer mandate is laid down in Section 31 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. In the previous unit, we have seen that in Negotiable Instrument Act, we study about three kind of instruments: checks, promissory note, and also bill of exchange. So we are having these kind of instruments which we study in negotiable instrument. So as per section 31, the banker, here when we are talking about banker, it is the paying banker. In the previous case, paying bank. In the previous case, as Canara Bank was the paying bank. So if signature on the check is correct, if everything is as per the apparent tenor, and there is sufficient balance in the account, then paying bank will have to make the payment, and this is laid down in section 31 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. Second is sufficient fund. Sufficient fund should be there. There should be no hold in the account. Sufficient balance should be available by which paying bank can debit the account of the account holder. It should be properly available. Sufficient, there should be sufficient fund, as well as I told you, there should be no hold, there should be no any kind of order is not attached to it, whether it is garnishee order or attachment order. Apparently it should be clearly available fund so that the bank can make the payment. Third is when duly required to do so. Whenever it is presented, it becomes the duty of the paying bank that the payment on of the check, if it is as per apparent tenor. In the previous unit, we had seen that it should be as per apparent tenor. And what does this apparent tenor means? We'll see to it. The bank has to compensate the drawer. It should not return the check because of it should the check should not be returned because of any um, misunderstanding by the paying bank, and there should be no loss or damage caused by default. If the paying bank doesn't make the payment, then customer will bear the loss because of that, and for that, who will be responsible? Paying banker will be held responsible for that. Now comes what is apparent tenor. So apparent tenor means that in a check, what what are the things that we check? First, we check the date. First thing which we have to check is the date. It should not be 3 months old, because if it is 3 months old, the check becomes stale. If it is of any date forward from the date on which it is presented, then it is called post-dated check, and we cannot make payment of any post-dated check unless it becomes due. So first thing which we check is date. Second is payee, to whom it has to be paid. Third thing which we check is the amount in words and amount in figures. It should match. That if it is written 10,000 10,000 only, then in figure also it should be 10,000. It should not be 1,000 or 1 lakh. If there is one less zero, it will become 1,000. If there is one more zero added to it, it will become 1 lakh. So we have to see the amount in words and the amount in figures. We also have to check, is there any kind of crossing on it or any kind of endorsement on the check. So that also has to be checked by the banker, and then comes the signature. We have to match the signature with our records, especially when it is a paying bank. When it is a paying bank, it will check the signature also of the customer, because if signature doesn't match, then you don't have the mandate to make the payment, and that will become a wrong payment. And if there is any loss to the customer because of this, then paying banker will not get any protection under the act. So we will see in the um, subsequent slides that in that case, in those cases where signature is forged, paying banker doesn't get any protection. So we have to compensate the drawer whenever we are presented with check as a paying banker, and we have to also check that there should be no loss or damage caused if paying bank defaults. If it doesn't make payment, maybe by mistake it doesn't make the payment, maybe there may be any misunderstanding or anything, then that becomes the duty of the paying banker. Liability of paying banker: when customer's signature on the check is forged, then it is the direct liability of the paying banker, because paying banker will not get any kind of protection if signature on the check is forged. Paying banker gets protection if endorsement is forged, if if there is any mistake or any fraud related to endorsement, but it will not get any protection if signature on the check is forged. So when customer signature on the check is forged, there is no mandate to the bank to pay. So why it will not get any protection under the act? Because signature on the check means that customer has allowed signature on check. This implies that customer has allowed bank it has allowed bank to debit his account. But if there is forged signature, then you have not received this mandate. The customer has not allowed the bank to debit his account, and that is why the bank will not get any kind of protection in those cases where signature is forged. Only in cases of endorsement, if there is forged endorsement, then the paying bank gets the protection. In a joint account, if one of the signature is forged, then there is if there is one of the signature is forged, then there is no mandate and banker cannot make payment. So if the signature of any one of the account holder is forged, then also there is no mandate from the customer to debit the account. And that is why the banker will not get any protection if there is forged signature, even if of one of the account holder. Now comes Section 18. Section 18 gives protection to the paying banker of a check which has been materially altered but does not appear to have been so altered. So if there is a check and if there is any kind of alteration or any technology has been used which is not evident in the banker's eye, or even after using the UV test, it is not evident that there was any material alteration on the check, then paying banker will get protection under Section 89 of NI Act. So banker gets protection if there is any alteration, there is any material alteration On the check, if suppose it is easier that if it is written, some amount is written and uh, it it is changed here. Um, any kind of alteration which is difficult to find even with the UV test or from the naked eye, then this will give protection to the banker. Banker can seek protection under Section 85 only when payment has been made to the holder, his servant or agent, that is, payment must be made in due course. If suppose a customer comes to your branch, then you must have received some mandate on authorized person. Authorized person. If after taking payment from the bank, if authorized person runs away, then bank will be protected. But if banker sends any of the agent, if bank sends bank's agent with cash of the encashed check, then banker will not get protection. Under this case, banker will get protection under Section 85. So in 85, you are getting the protection if you are giving the payment to the holder, his servant or agent. In Section 89, if there is any material alteration and if it is not evident from naked eye or even after doing the UV test, because there are some branches, although in most of the branches the UV lamp is available now, but if any of the bank, if any of the branch, it is not available and material alteration is not visible through the naked eye, then also the banker gets protection under Section 89. Under 85, it is if it is given to the holder, servant, his servant or agent, then the banker will get the protection. Next comes Section 10. Section 10 defines payment in due course to mean payment in accordance with the apparent tenor of the instrument in good faith and without negligence. So what does this mean? As I told you, in a check, first of all, what does we see? First thing is we look at the date, then we see who is the payee, then amount in words, and then amount in figures. This should match, and then the signature. What are other things that a banker has to look into a check? Whether is there any crossing on the check? Is there any endorsement on the check? So we will see if there is any crossing or is there any endorsement. Then in crossing we have to see what kind of crossing is present on the check. So a paying banker will see what kind of crossing is there, whether crossing is account pay, whether the crossing is special crossing in which the bank name is written. So whatever kind of crossing is there, the banker has to check the crossing. Then we should the paying banker will also ensure that there is no any kind of order is not there and available balance is there. Available balance, there should be no hold. No hold. Why do we put hold on the account? We put hold on account where we want to keep aside amount for any loan if there is any set off to be made for that usually, or if there is any kind of any dues which are due to the bank, then there could be any hold and there would be no clear available balance. So we will check all this. We will match the signature. Signature should not be forged and only then when we are completely um, satisfied as a banker that it is as per the apparent tenor, everything looks good, everything looks fine, instrument, and we will make the payment in good faith and it should be without negligence. We have to check all these things before making the payment, and we will also verify signature. Then comes section 31. It obliges the drawee bank having sufficient fund of the drawer in its hands properly applicable to the payment of such check to make payment when duly required to do so. So this section 31, it obliges that whenever the check, paying bank receives check and there is sufficient balance is there, it is as per the apparent tenor and signature is verified. Signature is also verified. Then the bank will make payment, and this is defined in section 31 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. This is defined under NI Act. When we are dealing with check, NI Act is applicable. So let's see few questions of this unit. Although so first question is XYZ Bank received a check in clearing. Mr. A, who was officer in charge Mr. A, who was officer in charge, was in doubt regarding the signature of the check because the flow of signature was not correct. But he made the payment. What could be the course on this check if customer claims the amount stating he didn't drew that check? So the banker will get the protection because it followed the section 31 of NI Act and paid the check. The banker will get protection under section 128. When this customer signature on the check is forged, there is no mandate to the bank. The banker will not be held liable. So what will happen if you're not very sure? You're a paying banker, but you're not sure and you doubt that the flow is not matching. What the banker could have done and whether he or she will get the protection or not. XYZ Bank received a check in clearing. Mr. A, who was officer in charge, was in doubt regarding the signature of the check because the flow of signature was not correct. But he made the payment. What could be course on this check if customer claims the amount stating he didn't drew the check? So he didn't drew the check means the one who makes the customer is called the drawer of the check. And if he refuses that he has not signed the check, then there is no mandate to the bank to debit the account. So there will be no protection to the paying banker in that case. Right answer will be that when customer signature on the check is forged, there is no mandate to the bank to pay. Which of the following, this is off, Which of the following is appropriate in case of Section 31 of NI Act? The duty of the banker to honor his customer's mandate lays down the criteria for payment in due course of cross checks, gives protection to paying banker in case of forged signature. Payment can be made to the holder, his servant, or agent, that is, payment must be made in due course. We are talking about Section 31. We have already seen what Section 31 means. Which of the following is appropriate in case of Section 31 of the NI Act? The duty of the banker to honor his check mandate lays down the criteria for payment in due course of cross-check, gives protection to paying banker in case of forged signature. Payment can be made to the holder, his servant, or agent, that is, payment must be made in due course. As in the unit, we have seen that Section 31 defines duty of the banker to honor his customer mandate. This is as per Section 128 and this is as per Section 85, that we can make payment only to the holder, his servant, or agent, and paying banker doesn't get protection in case of forged signature. So right answer would be A, the duty of the banker to honor his customer's mandate. Next question is, in case firm PQR Limited was required to draw a check on itself which was handed over to the bank entrusted the cash with one of the firm's agent who then absconded with the money. The bank can claim protection in this case under which section? Section 10, 31, Section 85 or Section 89? In case firm PQR Limited was required to draw a check on itself which was handed over to the bank entrusted the cash with one of the firm's agent who then absconded with the money. The bank can claim protection in this case under which section? So bank will get protection under Section 85 of the NI Act. And this is it for today's session. And as you all know that we are coming up with this series and we have already launched our batch for next year. JIB as well as CIB has been launched. You can start your preparation now because this is the right time that you can start, because you have to study around 165 units in JIB and you will need sufficient time to revise and practice also, because studying is would not be sufficient. You'll have to revise it as well as practice questions so that you are able to solve the questions while appearing in the exam. And for that you can enroll to our course. If you have not downloaded the app, then first of all download the app from Google Play or Apple Store. You can also follow this page. You can follow our channel, because we are coming up with lot of information regarding your JIB, CIB as well as bank promotion exams. So subscribe to the channel, and for enrolling to our courses you have to go to this ATA 24/7 site, and it would be better if you download the app because you'll get a lot of benefit on the app. You also get more discount through app. you get a lot of information through apps, so that would be very convenient for you. After going to JIB CIB, you have to go to JIB May 2025. Here you can see that we have our batches, and you can enroll to the batches of your choice. So enroll to the course, and you can also purchase JIB Mahapack. JIB Mahapack will give you benefit of all other courses as well, because we'll have revision batch also. So you will get benefit of other courses. Also, you are getting double validity on it. That is for 6 months. If you buy it for 6 months, you'll get it for another 6 months. For purchasing this, you have to use the code Y984. You have to type here Y984, and when you apply, then you are getting the maximum discount on it, and you can start your preparation with us because our batches are already live now. So with that, thank you all and wishing you all the best for all endeavors of your life, and also stay tuned, stay connected to all of us. So thanks a lot for watching this video.